The battle had turned into a massacre. Mira crouched behind the shattered remains of a supply crate, her rifle's power cell blinking red. Around her, the frozen wasteland of Theta 9 had become a graveyard of twisted metal and cooling bodies. The Vrix raiders had come in force, their chitinous armor gleaming like oil slicks under the pale alien sun. She should have been dead already, would have been, if not for the two Karathi younglings pressed against her back, Kor's cubs, the squadron commander's offspring, barely old enough to have earned their battle claws. They'd been observing the supply run as part of their combat training when the ambush hit. Now they huddled behind her, their amber eyes wide with something Mira had never seen in a Karathi before. Fear. The Karathi were apex predators. 2 meters of corded muscle, razor-sharp claws and teeth that could punch through standard armor plating. They'd conquered 40 systems before humanity had even achieved faster-than-light travel. The galaxy knew them as warriors without equal, creatures born with violence in their veins, but these two were children. Stripped of their warrior pride, they were just scared kids watching their world burn. Human, the larger one whispered, his translator struggling with his youth-slurred dialect. We should run. Honor Father Kor would want us to survive. Mira checked her ammunition counter. 3 shots. Maybe 4 if she was lucky. Can't run, kid. They've got speeders. They'd cut you down before you made 10 meters. A plasma bolt screamed overhead, melting the snow into steam. The Vrix were tightening the noose, their clicking laughter echoing across the ice fields. They knew she was cornered. They were taking their time, savoring it. The smaller cub, Kor's daughter, Mira remembered, pressed closer. Her claws, still dull with youth, scratched uselessly against the frozen ground. You could leave us, she said quietly. You are small, fast, you could escape. Mira felt something twist in her chest. The galaxy saw humanity as the galaxy's newest addition, soft, weak, barely worthy of notice. The Karathi had agreed to the alliance only because humans made adequate technicians and pilots. Cannon fodder for the real warriors. But Kor had been different. The grizzled commander had trained alongside human marines, fought beside them, bled with them. He'd called them small claws at first, not quite mockingly, but not quite respectfully either. That had changed on Proxima Station, when a human corporal named Chen had thrown himself on a grenade to save Kor's unit. Kor had carried Chen's body back himself. At the memorial, he'd placed his own battle claws at the grave and spoken the Karathi death oath. You died so my blood could live. Your pack is my pack. Your enemies are my enemies, until the stars grow cold. Mira had been at that funeral. She'd seen a warrior learn what humans really were. Now Kor's own blood was counting on her. Not a chance, Mira said, ejecting her spent power cell and slamming her last one home. Your dad saved my lieutenant on Arcturus. We don't abandon pack. The cubs stared at her. The word pack didn't translate directly from human languages into Karathi, but they understood. Their ears flattened against their skulls. Respect. The Vrix were moving in now, 3 of them advancing in a skirmish line. Their weapons hummed with charge, and their mandibles clicked in anticipation. They thought this would be easy. A lone human and 2 cubs. Entertainment before the killing blow. Mira stood up. The movement caught them off guard. The lead Vrix actually paused, his compound eyes refracting confusion. Humans didn't stand their ground. Humans ran or cowered or died quietly. But Mira didn't do any of those things. She stepped in front of the cubs, spreading her arms wide, making herself the largest target possible. Her rifle hung at her side. 3 shots weren't going to stop 3 Vrix raiders, so she didn't reach for it. Instead, she opened her mouth and roared. It wasn't a war cry or a battle shout. It was something older, something that came from the deepest parts of human evolution. The sound a mother bear makes when you threaten her cubs. The sound a wolf makes when you corner its pack. It was the sound of old Earth, of a species that had clawed its way to the top of a death world food chain not through claws or fangs, but through sheer bloody-minded refusal to quit. The sound echoed across the frozen wasteland, primal and terrifying. The Vrix stopped. Behind her, Mira heard the cubs' breath catch. They'd heard Karathi battle roars before, deep thrumming challenges that spoke of honor and glory. This was nothing like that. This was rage and defiance and desperate love all mixed into one savage sound that said, "You will not touch them, not while I draw breath." The lead Vrix tilted his head, confusion giving way to something that might have been respect. Or fear. With Vrix it was hard to tell. Impossible, he clicked in broken standard. Humans do not. Thunder split the air. Not weapons fire, dropship engines. 2 Karathi assault shuttles screamed over the ridgeline, their weapons already cycling hot. Kor's voice boomed over the open channel, raw with fury. Get away from my cubs. The Vrix scattered, but they were too slow. Plasma fire turned the ice field into an inferno. The raiders died screaming, their armor no match for Karathi military-grade weapons. The shuttles touched down, and Kor was first out, moving faster than Mira had ever seen him move. His eyes found the cubs, unharmed, alive, and then found her, standing, still defiant, still growling even though the danger had passed. For a long moment the commander simply stared. Then he approached slowly, dropping to one knee so his eyes were level with hers. His massive clawed hand reached out, stopping just before touching her shoulder, a gesture of profound respect among Karathi. You stood between death and my blood, he rumbled. You who the galaxy calls Small Claw, you who they say cannot fight. His amber eyes blazed with emotion. You have no claws, no fangs, but you have something more dangerous. What's that? Mira asked, her voice hoarse from her roar. Heart, Kor said simply, and humans have the biggest hearts in the galaxy. Behind him the cubs emerged, shaking but alive. They approached Mira and in perfect synchronization pressed their foreheads against hers, the Karathi sign of pack bonding. Small Claw no more, the male cub whispered. Now you are Mira, who roared. As the rescue team secured the area and medics rushed forward, Mira finally let herself collapse. Kor caught her, his massive arms surprisingly gentle. Thank you, he said quietly. My blood lives because of you. Mira managed a weak smile. That's what Pac does. And for the first time since humanity had joined the galactic community, a Karathi commander smiled back, not at humanity's technology or usefulness, but at their soul. The galaxy would learn, Kor thought as he carried her to the shuttle. They called humans weak, but they'd never seen a human protecting something they loved. That was when humans became truly terrifying.